This is a Club 11 production.
But it was like cool to see like, okay, like all these different things that they've kind of like experienced. And then of course, like, you know, we keep like flipping through all this like you know, like very, very wholesome stuff. It gets to
And the proudest moment.
the proudest moment was like, oh yeah, we flipped to a page and it's like, oh yeah, this is like the arrest papers of like, you know, like 4 different fans that got like, you know, they got arrested when they went to the I-4 Derby. I forget what year. I don't think it was like this one, right? I think it may have been from a few years back.
But it was just funny because they were speaking about like showing us these things and speaking about them in a tone where it's like as if you were 7 and you like rode a bike for the first time and your mom's like, wow, you were so young back then. It's like, wow, oh my, look at Danny. He's getting his handcuffs put on him. It's like, I don't know if we should be speaking about this like this, guys. Like if this is this crowning of a moment for you, but they were very proud to share it with us.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but yeah, it was like cool to like, you know, get to obviously like for you know, Justin as a kid, like he got to see like some of those things and experience them, but
The arrest.
not the arrested part.
Hold on tight and take the ride. This is Club 11's Soccer Odyssey.
We're back, and the fate of the bus hangs in the balance. Last time we realized that the bus is leaking oil, and we don't know why. And we still have, well, spoiler, we did make it 12,000 miles last year, so we did keep going. But we have to figure out how we're going to do the remaining, whatever it is, 8,000 miles?
Yep. The Open Cup is coming thick and fast. We're right in the thick of it at this point. 4th round on the horizon.
And we promised we would never, ever, ever activate in Florida again. So it's like, what are we going to do?
And you know what we did? We activated back in Florida. Jeez, man.
Who's the person who comes and checks on the bus first?
Oh, let me think. Let me rethink my... No. It was, so at my mom's work, one of her coworkers used to be a diesel mechanic. So he comes out and checks on the bus. At this point, I feel like there was a little bit of a gap between the last game and the Rowdies game, which we end up going to, because you have some time to figure it out. And the guy's like, you know, we got this. Like, there's plenty of time. I think he thinks he's diagnosed the problem. I'm like, okay, cool. I order like 2 parts for it, and we're back on the, you know, like every time I go check in on it with him, like, and I drive it out there, it's like, oh yeah, we're really hopeful about all of this. And then I think the parts come in, around that time, and none of the parts actually match up to anything that we have on the bus. So a little bit of a problem there, but we go to Tampa in the meantime anyways, you know. Like we put that on hold. Tampa's not too far away. Let's just go there. We'll come back and we're going to get it to go. You know, so that ended up being a pretty quick trip. Those, I mean, all in one day.
You guys came back, yeah.
We came back all in one day. We went out around, you know, noon. Thinking back on it, that was awesome. We went out around noon, drove out to Tampa, and parked the bus outside of the famous Al Lang Stadium, right? And I don't know. What are your notes saying? What are we...
Well, I guess I wasn't
step on you.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there, so you guys can just retell what happened to me. I mean, I know that you spoke with the woman who is the unofficial like keeper of history. I think talking about the Rowdies is an interesting conversation because they've been around for a very long time.
Yeah, it was crazy that like with that woman that we met, she was like, oh yeah, like I was at the very first game that the Rowdies ever played, like back in 1975. And of course, like with them, it was like the NASL folded in like the early 80s, and then it's like gone forever, and then it's like revive again when she's already like an adult.
She was like 7 or 9 when it started.
When it first started, and then like it comes back like when she's already like an adult and all that, and it's like like that's such a crazy, like just imagine like the team that you fall in love with as a kid disappears, and then like you get to like rediscover it or be a part of it again, like when you're older.
Yeah, you think it's gone.
Yeah, and I think for her it was cool because like she worked at the club for a while, and the club wanted to have like a museum of that would kind of like touch on the history, obviously, of the Rowdies, and then it was like, oh, but like, where are we gonna get all this stuff? And she's like, well, actually, like, I have all this stuff that I collect.
She's like, I have 2 of everything.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, like, you can have stuff for your museum. I have stuff to keep in my own home. And then like they filled that entire museum like with her collection essentially. I don't think the museum is still there.
They had to take it down because of the hurricane.
Yeah. But
and they had that brick or something in the stadium where it shows like the
white brick. Yeah.
Where it shows like how high the water. I mean, the stadium was underwater when the hurricane came recently, and so they had to take all of her museum stuff out of there. And
it was so high, like it was like to my.
Yeah, I mean it was maybe up to your head, your shoulders at least. I mean.
Again, we're just
crazy.
Finding apocalyptic water conditions wherever we
everywhere.
go.
I don't know. It just follows us for some reason.
I think an important, looking at this, an important part of this too is that this was the I-4 Derby, right?
This is the I-4 Derby, very special.
So it's like, it was funny because like Justin, obviously being an Orlando City fan, he's like in behind like enemy lines.
I gotta play it coy, play it up to the fans, and just a little bit. Not try to, I try to embrace it though, and I got a picture with the mascot. That isn't gonna go over well in the house, but I do what I.
But it was insane that it was like, so we had the bus like on, I think it was technically the front side of the stadium. There's the usual like fans like coming on or whatever. Then it's almost like we just hear like a noise from like the other end of the stadium basically, and it's like, what is going on? So we just like run, and then it's just like almost like. Just in the distance, you see like purple smoke, like a purple army, like just coming up the hill, essentially. And it's just like, like they're just like marching towards like the stadium, and it's like, oh, okay, like things are getting real now. Like this is, and it was cool that it was like they were going in, and then like some of the Tampa fans were also like there, so it was like a nice little like standoff, essentially, like a little clash there.
Bombonera of the U.S., they're saying.
Essentially, pretty much.
I guess, this is like a serious thing. Like, people get arrested. Like, this is a serious...
We'll soon find out that people get arrested.
People get arrested. We'll find out. But, like, this is not a pleasant... Like, in the context, as we mentioned last time, of, like, Indianapolis and Louisville are like, haha, we're rivals. This is not a haha, we're rival situation.
Yeah, it's a little more intense. And I think we saw that especially in the aftermath of our posts, there's some naughty comments going back and forth, especially because the result didn't go that well in the favor of the Rowdies. I think, what was it, 5-1?
It was 5-1.
Yeah,
5-1, yeah.
So
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
They had a cool tifo, though, I will say.
They had a great tifo, and they had a great showing of fans, too. Even at 5-1, they were doing some great...
it was cool that, like, right behind their... right behind the goal... Like, it was just, like, the wall of, like, yellow and green and all that. They got the flares, the drums, like,
and Al Lang looks just so cool at any point, too. And you get the nice little Florida sunset in the background. And it ended up being... I mean, it was, like, sad because it was 5-1. But that's also the tough thing. And, like, a thing that is throughout, like, when I said at the beginning, like, of the adopted teams, you really, like, adopt... Like, I mean, I'm an Orlando City fan, but, like, secretly, I'm like, I don't want, like... the Rowdies get killed. Like, I like these people now that I'm here. You get to meet them, and you're like, oh, like, this is when you start putting the things together of, like, we're not all so different, huh? We might all think we're the best in a soccer sense, but of, like, we all think we're the best fans. We all think, well, we do this and that, but they all have these similarities and these stories of, like, how deeply they care about their team, and that it's hard to, it's like picking your favorite child as a 25-year-old single male. These are my children now, and I can't pick a favorite. I love them all. They all have these beautiful things about them. And so it's like you build this affinity for each team because at the end of the day, they all embrace us with such open arms, and they want whatever we're trying to do to, like, happen, and are willing to give us, pieces of their memorabilia, merch, and stuff to give away. That was, like, a cool thing that we started doing at this point, is like we did with Indy and Louisville, as well as we started doing giveaways for the fans that if they come on the bus. And that goes to another way of how we were trying to get people onto the bus, is like if we give away something. So we work with the clubs, I think for the Rowdies, we got signed pennant by the whole team, and we got to give that away. I mean, it's cool opportunity for fans to get stuff if they just come out and bear a couple minutes talking to us.
I think they're. I mean, because it was last year. They're like 50th.
Yeah.
It was some
50th
anniversary too, which like
yeah.
you don't. I guess unless you like the sound or like
Not a lot of
sound
clubs
or-
have it.
you don't see that.
Yeah.
And especially USL.
Yes.
I think it was the club with like the most. I mean, am I wrong? Most history,
I mean, like,
longevity.
technically, like the oldest.
Yeah, it was the
Oh,
oldest
sure.
club we went to for sure.
Yeah. But it was I think that stadium also, like, I think it was really cool because I remember like the way it's shaped. There's like a part of the stadium that's just like a chain link fence,
Yeah.
and it was like there were people like outside the stadium like watching from the sidewalk like into the stadium, like trying to watch the game.
Yeah.
So I think like that was a really cool like postcard essentially from like what that was. It was like behind the goal, it was like the yellow and green of Tampa, and then at the other end it's like the Orlando fans, and then behind them like a chain link fence where like other people are kind of like climbing up trying to see.
I guess, yeah. So especially since like I wasn't there, for example, describe like visually what does Owl Lang look like? Like why is it this thing?
It's gorgeous. It's
Ha-
beautiful.
In what other words can
I mean,
you,
it's like
can you
this-
use to describe?
It's this. It's like this concrete. Like I would call it like a spaceship that's split into like half, where it's just this concrete structure with like painted green and yellow. You know, where you can. The seats are green, some seats are yellow, and it's like these. It's just like the Rowdies colors like throughout. But I think it feels old also because it is like I think originally like a baseball stadium, so it has that. It's not one of these like soccer specific things that are coming up nowadays. No, I mean it's you can tell it's old basically, but at the same time it's maybe it's been renovated. I don't know, but it feels like the Rowdies home simply because of the colors that have been put on this concrete structure. A lot of it. Like, I remember, because that day I had to shoot the game because I think it was just the three of us and then Conrad and Felix and his wife. So it was, like, we were kind of short-staffed, I would say. I think Justin stayed alone in the bus, like, the whole night. Pablo went in with Conrad, and, like, I was shooting the game, but they kind of had to close up, like, a whole section, I think, just because it was a midweek game. But even then, they had this massive tifo of what's his name? Lasso.
No,
Ted
Flores
No,
Lasso.
Flores Lasso. Who was like, I think they put like a lion or something, and it just still felt like even though the home fans were packed into this little section, if you just pointed your camera to that one section, you would have thought like, yeah, this is this was packed like the whole way. Yeah, at Lang, I think anybody that has been there, like, will probably say the same thing in the sense of you do feel that history come in as you're underneath those, on those seats, underneath that ceiling, and, like, in front of those walls. You're kind of, you can be there where we've all heard all these stories of, like, when, I mean, I think we have history with the Rowdies also because of the people that we've worked with. Like, we worked with an illustrator that, Scott Ross, like, was the original, He created Ralph Rowdy, basically. And we're in the 50th year anniversary. We're seeing his illustration, like the new take on that illustration. I think the year prior, Ralph Rowdy was on the crest of the Rowdies. And I think anybody in that stadium, especially the lady that, we spoke to before the game, like, even if you know none of that, you still kind of get the feeling like, oh, shit, like, I'm kind of back in time here. It sucks that they lost 5-1, but I think one of the reasons why nobody was really like, oh, I'm really sad about this. It's just because, again, it's like an Open Cup game, and that's what's connecting you to, like, all these other things that happened prior to you.
Yeah, it's almost like cohesively. I know we touched on it. Like, it has a lot of history, and it's one of the oldest clubs probably still going. But cohesively, the feeling of the experience is one that, like, no one would replicate it today. Like, you wouldn't start a new club and it's like, I'm gonna be like the Rowdies, which isn't a bad or good thing, but it's like everyone's got their own soccer specific stadiums down. Like, the Rowdies feel like it's an NASL name.
Yeah, there's a grittiness to that stadium too when you go in, where it's like it's been lived in. It's not like this new polished thing. It's like, this is the Rowdies thing, and it's like been around for so long that it's like synonymous with them.
Yeah, I remember like to get into to get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the field. It's like you go through like the tunnels,
Tunnels,
right?
yeah.
And it's like
Oh.
like the place where like it was the mark of like where the water line was and all that stuff. But it's like you go through all of that, and like when you're going through the tunnels, like you hear like the crowd, right, like above you essentially, and then like coming out into it, it's just like, I don't know, it has like a special feeling that maybe like, because I know like all of us, like throughout all of this and a lot of the work that we've done, like we've been in different stadiums where like, you know, you do come out through the tunnel, but like that, it felt so like, it's like you're in like the old bones of the stadium, and like you come out and it's just like, I don't know, it was like a feeling that, yeah, like you can't really like replicate. And that if you think about it like into the future, like how much longer is that going to be around? Because then every stadium is going to be kind of like these like newer ones that
Yeah,
are
I mean,
like,
it's like when you go to England, you see like those older stadiums like a Stamford Bridge, where it's like so old and grimy, but it's like that's what it plays.
that's
in.
what it is,
Yeah, like
yeah.
when they have to make a new stadium, it's like, dang, we're gonna lose that
that.
with that. You know, you lose something with erasing that. I mean, not erasing it, but like, you know, moving on from it.
Yeah.
It's like when when we were in or went to do a Tim Weah thing, and we were in Milan, and we wanted to go to the San Siro. One of the reasons was because it was we thought it was about to get torn down or whatever, destroyed. Like this was, God forbid it ever happens, but like if this was to be torn down, like it would feel the same way, where you're tearing down like Al Lang, that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like this still, again, collectively, the organization is this active relic of, again, no one's going to name a team the Tampa Bay Rowdies anymore. As a new team, it's going to be Tampa Bay FC or whatever it is. I guess the Tampa Bay Sun, to be fair. But it just feels like it's an active piece of history in a way that I don't know if another club in the U.S. really feels that way.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that game came to an unfortunate close.
I was going to say, you went, as you mentioned, you went there and back in a day. We're still on the edge of our seats of...
We took back roads back, right? Or
Yeah. I mean, we did. But
the bus, we're filling it with oil as we go. It's nighttime now.
this trip was short enough to where it didn't even need an oil fill.
Oh.
We were only a 2-hour drive there and back. So it was, I mean, must have been like 11 at night. And we were like, hotel, it's kind of expensive out here. You know, we're by the water. The stadium's on the water, so this is a lot of high price real estate. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to swing in the budget. And so we made the dumb, bold decision of driving the bus back to Orlando at night.
dude, what is the name of like, because there was one
bridge?
where because we were just like basically like gliding on the water.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
I don't know what that name is, but it's the bridge that goes to St. Peter's, St. Pete, where
That was awesome.
where the Al Lang is, and you drive from Tampa to over there, and we drove back, and it at night with limited headlights, it just looks like you're just driving into the darkness, and you can look out and see the water. It's beautiful. So you have the bus driving out there, and Pablo had to stay in the bus with me because I was like, I'm not gonna I need someone to keep me awake, and I think we literally just probably talked about so much history, soccer history, and like because of the Rowdies, that spurred on some type of conversation about the history of soccer. I mean, with you, I feel like it always devolves into that conversation, but it was enough to keep us awake to get the bus back home and live to see another day.
And what happens? Buses back home. Do we check on it before our definitely not Florida next stop?
Well, at this point, I think we all realized that Orlando City plays the next round, so we could just stay here, and and it was still, the bus hadn't been resolved. The leaking of the oil hadn't been resolved, so it was this question, or the answer was clear. We had to keep it here until this thing got fixed up. And as this was happening, as we were waiting for the bus to be fixed, a lot of our summer plans started taking shape of what we were planning on doing. So we knew that we had a long summer ahead of us, and we're maybe it's not the worst thing. And I think at that time we were debating on trying to figure out a way to get to TST or not.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And I mean, up until maybe a week before, we were trying to.
What kind of guerrilla marketing tool can we do at TST with the bus? Yeah.
And so as we're trying to figure out all of our summer plans, the bus is still being worked on, trying to find a solution to it as we're like, this guy's only available every so often. He's got a full-time job. He's got a family and everything. So I'm trying to like get with him as much as possible. Maybe not being as responsive as I need to on the phone, but I don't care. Like, I mean, it seems like he's got the answer right now, so I'm sticking with him. And then we could do Orlando. We reach out to the front office, and we got to do a little tour of the stadium. We got to see the Open Cup trophy in person.
That was sick.
Where's your mic?
That was awesome. That was awesome.
And we got to we tailgated with the fans.
The
Well, I guess
ruckus.
let's back up first. You're more as like the day before we went to the Citrus Bowl.
Oh yeah, we went to
Even like I feel like I don't know about you, but learning a lot about the history of where Orlando City came from because of you and your fandom of it, and like you being a mascot, and like you retelling stories of what the club was like at the Citrus Bowl before it was an MLS club, because it came from where originally?
Yeah, it came from Austin Aztecs. It was they were originally the Austin Aztecs before they came to Orlando, and they were the first team really in. Yeah, Orlando. I mean, even south of Jacksonville. I mean, or Tampa. I guess they had the Rowdies, but at the time there wasn't a lot of soccer going on in the Orlando, Central Florida area. So it was something that a lot of people rallied behind, and it was a big community thing. And I feel like with a lot of the Open Cup stuff has been like a revisiting of what that was in the early days of Orlando City when we would go out to the Citrus Bowl, which at the time was like a dinosaur of a stadium. It was like 60, 70,000 seats and maybe only like 4,000 sold out. So it'd be very, very empty. But like when we were talking about how all the fans at the time, like there's all these fan groups that were separated. There was like this Caribbean group that I remember was on the side of the stadium, and they would have all their drums, the steel drums and all that. And then they had like the Ruckus, which is still there now, and it would all be split up across the stadium. But you could go walk around the stadium and experience like all those different groups in their own area. But as they joined MLS and everything, all that got consolidated into what they call now like the Wall, which is like a couple groups all in one section together. But I think going back to the Citrus Bowl, it was cool because that's also where, I mean, they hosted games for the '94 World Cup. There's a lot of history out there.
There's a statue outside. Just learned.
They have a statue.
What was was maybe the Dan and those guys told us, what was the big like blow up thing that they would have at the Citrus Bowl?
Blow up.
Like the thing they have at like car.
Oh
lots?
yeah. They would have in this I mean, it wasn't anything like crazy, but yeah, they had like one of those blow up like.
Because I feel like you can't get away with that today, literally anywhere.
That's true, yeah. I mean, in that stadium, it had, like, they had the flares, they had, like, stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, you can't really get away with that now. I mean, it was, yeah, definitely a different, like, just a scrappy vibe. Like, in that stadium, the toilets were troughs. Like, you would pee next to each other just in, like, a big box. And I'm, like, whatever, 11, 12 years old, going in there next to, like, a bunch of drunk grown men. And you just go... And one of my coaches growing up, he played for the team, so it was like you'd see him come on, we're like screaming his name all the time. He would never give us a passing glance. It's messed up. But it was cool, yeah. It was a cool full circle moment to then go and bring the bus to a game, too.
And we got to talk to Dennis
the
day before.
Yeah, and Dennis Chin, who's... I'd like to say Orlando City legend. I think he's at one point he was the leading goal scorer.
I mean, all the people at the Ruckus tailgate were like, Dennis, we love Dennis.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd say so, yeah.
He's definitely, fan favorite because he's been there since the jump. I ended up becoming friends with his younger brother, too, who's our age. And, got to hear his take on a lot of the Orlando history and the history of soccer there because he went to Rollins, which is like a big school here that actually made to the D2 final this year. So they're on the up. But, it was great to talk to him about that because he actually, when I first started my foray into soccer as a career, he had a player agency and needed some like graphic design work done and was like, hey, you want to help me out with that? And I ended up doing a bunch of graphics for his agency that's now doing amazing. I think they just signed Onana from Aston Villa.
What the?
So they're doing pretty good. Congrats, Dennis.
Dennis.
So it was great. Yeah, great to talk to him. Another like full circle moment of like, he's like, what? Like, of course I'll come out and help you. And a lot of people that just have been like watching from afar, and I'm like, oh, thank God you reached out to me, because I've been waiting to help. I've been waiting to contribute something to this. So that was cool to get to talk to him and get to hear about the history of Orlando before we did the tailgate. It gave us some nice context into like what we were about to get into with the fans, because that tailgate was
low-key one of like I don't know, mine, like the image that Andrea took of the flares, everybody in front of the bus. In my head, when I think of everything we did, like that's one that lives.
I wish we would have done more things like that, where we tailgated with the fans to get that visual of all of the fans in front of the bus, because that was such a great photo.
Into the mic, please. But even as we tailgate with the fans at this grass lot near the stadium, but even like we pull up, and because it's an MLS team now, there's guys collecting money who are like, the fuck is this?
Yeah,
like, what do you guys think you're doing? Like, this cost, you have to pay to be here. And we're like, shoot, we do? And then, I'm forgetting her name, but it was Dan, and then his wife, like the two Ruckus OGs, like they start collecting cash from everybody who's already, and it's like, we're early, so there are not that many people there, and they're just collecting cash to pay for us to park. And so we get to park right in the middle of what later becomes this gigantic tailgate. And we got to talk to, again, Dan and his wife, who, two, again, Ruckus OGs. They were at the first press conference? What was
very first press conference, when they were like, oh, like, they didn't even know the name of the team. There weren't any colors. It was like essentially nothing. It was just the press conference that was like, oh yeah, like there is actually going to be a team here. I don't know how many people there were there, but I don't think there was a lot. I think they showed us a picture, and it was just essentially like people that were going to be involved in the club, and then like the two of them,
yeah, and them.
which was great. But that tailgate, like I think of like, yeah, that big tree in the middle of it, like mossy tree or whatever. Like it was just like, oh man. And then the bus like right underneath it.
Yeah, it was like just stuck right in between it all
with the flares and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I think Dan and, man, again, yeah, I think blanking on her name, but yeah, it was like cool to see that it was like a nice like transition, essentially, because it was the first MLS team that we were kind of like going to visit, but it was like it still had that grittiness that I think you were kind of describing in terms of like what it was like for you when you were a kid. Obviously, like now it has evolved.
Yeah, I think, but also to that of like the grittiness is as things went towards the MLS, a lot of things had to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, image-wise and stuff.
Of course.
But if you go out there to the tailgates and hang out with the fans, you start to see, like, oh, it's still there. It's just, like...
yeah.
Say, speaking of image, we saw some images. They showed us in a binder.
In a binder. Oh, my God. Yeah, they have, like, a binder that you just get at Staples, that they were like very excited to show us, that they were like, this is essentially like the history of the Ruckus. So, you know, it was like, oh my God, yeah, like we got to find it. And then I honestly don't know what I was expecting when they said that they had like a book or something. And then it was like, it's just like a binder from Staples, and they have like stuff that's like laminated. So they have like a picture of the original like press conference that they were at, like a clipping of like, you know, the newspaper thing or the ad that says like, oh yeah, like there's this team that's coming to Orlando. They have like the order that they had placed for those. I don't know what the name is of the little blow up thingies that
because they got them from somewhere like in Europe.
They got them somewhere in Europe.
Far away,
I don't know if it was like Germany or Denmark or something like that, but it was in Europe, and like they ordered it with their own money. Like they didn't even like ask anybody else. It was like, no, like we're ordering this so that people have a great time. And then like, yeah, they placed the order, like somehow it came in, and then like boom, like that's I forget the name of those little blow up thingies, but it was like, yeah, those guys. But it was like cool to see like, okay, like all these different things that they've kind of like experienced. And then of course, like, you know, we keep like flipping through all this like, you know, like very, very wholesome stuff. It gets to
and the proudest moment.
The proudest moment was like, oh yeah, we flipped to a page and it's like, oh yeah, this is like the arrest papers of like, you know, like 4 different fans that got like, you know, they got arrested when they went to the I-4 Derby. I forget what year. I don't think it was like this this
I don't
one, right? I
remember.
think
don't
it
remember
may
how
have been from a
recent
few
they were,
years
but
back.
It was just funny because they were speaking about like showing us these things and speaking about them in a tone where it's like as if you were 7 and you like rode a bike for the first time, and your mom's like, "Wow, you were so young back then." It's like,
Yeah.
wow, oh my, look at Danny. He's getting his handcuffs put on him. It's like, I don't know if we should be speaking about this like this, guys. Like, if this is this crowning of a moment for you, but they were very proud to share it with us.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but yeah, it was like cool to like get to obviously like for Justin as a kid, like he got to see like some of those things and experience them, but
Be arrested.
not the arrested part. But then like for us, I know we're kind of like outsiders, right? And we'd obviously like heard from Justin like some of the history and like the stuff that he'd seen when he was young, but then like for us it was like, oh, okay, like we got to talk to supporters that have been there for like over 15 years at this point, and kind of get the story like from them and through their eyes and all of that. So
It was cool. We got to, I forget how they were related to anybody, but we interviewed like 2 kids, the 2 boys who were teenagers.
yeah,
And again, like we mentioned at some point, like we're teenagers are kind of scary. Like they think things are stupid in general.
yeah.
But like these 2 kids were the most with it in terms of like why all this is happening. I don't know what we expected answer wise, but it was like, why do you like coming to the tailgates? Like, why do you like being a part of the ruckus? And it was like a very nuanced, detailed answer about feeling like they belong and it's a sense of community. And I was like, wait, I just learned this like yesterday. Like you already know this and you're 12? Like that's crazy.
And it wasn't, I'm trying to think of like what point in the year it was, but like it wasn't like this was like right after like school, right, for them technically. Like it was like, they must have come out of school.
Day.
It was literally a school day, and it's like the tailgate starts at like 2 or 3. And it's like, oh yeah, like they were there like right after school, like tailgating with the ruckus to then go and watch an Open Cup game. It's like, oh man, this is beautiful.
And we got to drive the bus with the little fan march.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was great.
crazy.
Yeah, just slowly next to them at 5 miles an hour, just honking the horn as they're going down, marching to the stadium. That was fun.
It'd been a dream, I think, for all of us to be like, yeah, like we need to go on a march and then, like
Yeah.
have the bus like go.
I think that was
alongside
like
it.
a big unspoken dream the whole time. I was like, oh, we can like whenever fans march, we can just be right behind them, like of
Yeah.
course. And it's like that's never going to happen,
Yeah.
but it did. That one time it did.
that one time.
Yeah, because they were lighting off flares in the street. It was again some of the best like imagery I think we got was from pregame of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but then, unfortunately,
Game happened. Because, yeah, after that, I was just like, I just want to dump the bus off. Like, I just went and drove it back home and then came back in my own car. And then
Did we
watched.
see Dex McCarty there?
oh,
Allegedly. I don't even
allegedly, we were so afraid to approach.
That was him. That was him.
We were so afraid to approach. It was like, oh my god, is that Dax McCarty? And then none of us had the chutzpah to be like,
Had the
excuse me,
gall.
sir,
Yeah.
are you Dax McCarty?
Excuse me. Yeah. No, but then what? Nashville won that.
Yeah.
Like, what was? I forget what the score was.
3-2.
They scored a banger at the end, I remember.
Yeah.
I came back, I was like, we got a chance. And they scored, like, oh.
Yeah.
Your parents were there too, right?
Yeah, those are my. Or no, they got to see it at Not Another. But yeah, it was cool.
More on like a game day atmosphere.
Yeah, they
You
got to see the
it.
game.
Because you had
day
like other
vibe to it.
family members.
Yeah,
too.
my aunt and uncle came out. And some of my cousins came out, so it was a good. I kind of got another little family visit. This time with the bus all in its natural habitat amongst the fans.
all dolled up. Yeah, all dolled up. Yeah, so you already dropped the bus off, so the
Yeah.
game ends, and for the first time, because we're in your hometown and Gabe lives here too, it's like we can do stuff. The night is young. Let's go out on the town. We find a lovely taco spot.
Yep.
Is that where we had dinner? I don't know who wants to pick it up from there. About what happened right afterwards.
Yeah, what did happen right afterwards?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we went to eat these this taco place one of us found. I mean, I don't know the exact. You probably know the location, but just downtown Orlando for reference. So we go. We had I think we had like 3 cars. So it was the 2 of you. We had my car
Andreas.
and Andreas' car as well. And I think that night, which is again just the fact that we didn't have to go back to like a hotel or anything, we were all going home. Like we all had our gear in our cars, so we had photography equipment, you guys had all your video stuff. You know, we had rentals, and then we had my car, which is just filled with like, I mean, it's just garbage. I mean, it was just things that basically we used to use my car as a place where, I don't know if you guys remember, but like anything that was in the bus that didn't fit in the bus, we would just put it. So I have all these boxes of stuff that is just junk. But it was organized. So I leave the car, you know, we go in to eat.
That's insane.
That's
It was organized.
That's a claim.
That's a rewriting history.
No, because wait, it will come back later. But just, it was messy, but organized messy.
It was organized to you.
Yeah.
You knew where
Like,
everything
I knew
was.
where things were. That's what
I had a
matters.
water bottle in there for about 6 months that I
Let's
never
relax.
knew was in there.
All right. But basically, we go eat, and we were in for like maybe half an hour, like probably not longer than a half hour.
I feel like something happened. Like we were talking about something.
I feel like
too,
yeah, we had a great
something
conversation.
happened
for
where
some
we were like,
reason.
oh, like yes, opinions about things. Like it was a good conversation about something. We were feeling good.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I
we
mean, it
were
was a
feeling
great
good
time.
after.
Like we were, like that was a great night up to, you know, it's an awesome night. And yeah, then we walk out. You know, we're all going home. Like Andrea took off. You know, she had all her gear. Then it's just like our two cars, and we're, you know, getting into. I think I was gonna go with Pablo, and you were staying with Justin, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the three of you guys were talking. You know, you're on the sidewalk, and I go. I don't remember if I unlocked my car or if I, you know, or if it had been locked. Like I don't remember, but I just open my door. I sit down, turn it on, and I'm like, Pablo, like, come on, like we gotta go, man. Like, let's get out of here. And I look to the side, the passenger seat, and all of these things that previously, you know, were just trash to me, but they were like on the floor of like the passenger seat, are now on the actual seat. And among all those things, so it's like, see, it's like DVDs, CDs, just stuff, you know, that's been there since 2011. And on top of that is a passport, like a blue passport. And I'm like, what the hell is that doing there? And I take the passport, open it up, and, you know, it's Pablo staring back at me. I'm like, why is his fucking passport here?
Idiot. Why is it
And
out?
they told me, he's like, Pablo, what are you doing? Like, what did you do?
So I put down the window. I'm like, Pablo, like, what? Like, why would you leave this here? Like, are you, you know, why? And then I think very quickly, like, even before he got into the car, like, I realized all these things that were next to, you know, his passport didn't come from the floor. Like, they had come from the console. Like, things that I hadn't seen in, like, genuinely, like, over a decade, because it wasn't my car before. So I'm seeing, like, Donna Summer CDs from, like, my dad. I'm like, what the hell is this doing here? And I realized, like, okay, somebody was in here, like, looking for something. And, like, at that point, I'm talking with Pablo. I'm like, Pablo, like, I think somebody, like, came in and, like, took something. But, like, where is your...
Yeah, where's my bag?
Basically, like,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I remember, like, because I was just having a conversation with you guys, and then he was, like, in there. And then when he calls me over and he's like, oh, like, Pablo, what did you do? And then I was like, wait, what? Wait, what?
Wait, what? Wait, what? And then he walked over really slowly, you know, like when there's an emergency, but he doesn't care. He just
then-
walked around the car.
And then, like, I see my passport on the chair, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I open up my backpack, and then, like, I just, like, completely, like, freeze. Because it's, like, my laptop is in there. And it's, like... Gulp. No, like, literally, it's just, like, that's just, like, essentially my life at the end of the day. Like, it's just where I do work, where, like, everything that I do, like, exists. And, you know, obviously, like, at that point, I had, like, just started getting into the whole, like, you know, editing the little things that we were doing and all that. And then it's, like, then it's, like, all of that is, like, my laptop is gone. Like, I just essentially, like, yeah, it's, like, an extension of me. Like, I can't, like, live without it. And then it's just, like, vanished. And, like, already I'm, like, oh, okay, no, like, that's... Just part of me was, like, okay, like, it's done. Like, there is nothing to do. Like, somebody took it. And, like, it's gone. Like, there's nothing we can do because, like, what can you do, right? Like, we were just, like, parked somewhere. Like, maybe there's a camera, but, like, who's going to know, like, where it went, like, who took it? Like, it was just, like, powerless. And then at that point, like, even then, like, towards, like, the end of, like, anytime that we do anything with a bus or whenever we go to a game, like, Especially after dinner, like you're just so like tired that I think from like part of me, I was just like, you know what, like just I guess it's gone. Like I'm done. Like I'm never seeing it again, and like whatever. Like we'll go to sleep and figure out like what happens tomorrow. But I think you were more of like, oh, okay, like no, like we need to like get
I
this
mean, he
back
said
or
he
something.
can't live with. I can't live with this guy mad at me. Like I knew it was, I knew it was my fault. Like I'll admit. I mean, I probably didn't lock the car. But even though I think I usually lock my car, maybe I forgot that night, because there were no signs of forced entry. So I think to kind of speed up a little bit, but the laptop was the only thing missing. So
your bag was still there.
my bag was
still
there.
My
It was
passport,
just
everything.
somewhere, like it wasn't where he had left it. It was like somewhere. Everything was a mess in the car, and clearly whoever broke into the car was kind enough to leave his passport, because it was actually one of the nicest things that happened that week.
Because then it's not identity theft if
Yeah.
he doesn't take the passport.
It's
So.
amazing. Like it was honestly like calculated, beautiful. And then basically it's just like, okay, I mean, what can we do? I guess the only thing we can do is call the police. Like, let's see what they're all about. Like we've never,
What's the deal with you guys?
you know, like maybe it works here. And so we called them, and I was like, hey, 911, what's your emergency? Like, hey, it's like a laptop's missing from a car. And they're like, oh, like a carjacking? Like, is there, like, no, like it just, it's like a laptop's missing. They're like, oh, okay, so like it's not an emergency. I'm like, maybe not to you, but to me, like it's a laptop missing. And then basically she's like, okay, well, I can't really help you right now and send a trooper. Like you're gonna have to wait. I'm like, all right, like let's wait. I called back 4 times after that because they weren't coming, and I think by the 4th time, like it was different people, would respond because it's the same hotline. And I called like the police department, and somebody picked up that just said like, oh, there's actually a trooper that is going around like right now, and they're around you, so we'll send them. So long story short, they came over, they gave us a police report, we filled it, and they just told us, we asked them at the end when we had all our information, just asked them like, hey, how likely do you think it is that we get this back? Like, what are you going to do from here? Like, just you can tell me, like, if you're going to throw this shit out when you get to your office, like, I'm fine, but just so we don't waste your time, this guy has to fly back tomorrow. And he's like, okay, like, I'll be honest with you, like, somebody will pick this up in 7 days. Like, this will be picked up, but it's like, it's probably going to be investigated. Here's my number. Like, he has other cases, it wasn't, again, an emergency where you need to get a detective. So 7 days. It's like, okay, 7 days. All right. Well, we'll just, we'll have to take care of it ourselves.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Like, all right.
I was gonna say, I don't know. That's the end of that. Like, oh well, and we
we
leave.
But then he reminded me that his laptop has a tracker, and we told the police officer, we're like, hey, he has his Apple ID thing turned on or whatever, and we checked it. The location that it showed was like the same place where we were at. So the laptop was either like out of battery or it hadn't been opened. Like we didn't know where it was. So the officer just said, and this was like a Hail Mary of hope that he shot at us. So he's like, hey, okay, let's do this. If it appears somewhere tomorrow or the day after, just call like this number, the Orange County, whatever. And like, you go to where the thing is, stay within a mile radius, and we'll send an officer or two to like go in and check this place for you. So like, all right, that sounds like a good deal. So we go home. I think we're like satisfied by then. And the next morning, his flight I think was gonna be in the afternoon or sometime like at night. Yeah. So in the morning, the tracker like picks up, and we see like a sign of it, literally like within a 5-block radius of where we lost it. And I tell him like, hey, like, what are you doing today? And it's like a Thursday, like the game was on a Wednesday, right? Or like a Tuesday.
No, but the thing is, like, I woke up and I saw the thing like ping, and then he was like on a call, like I forget who you were talking to, and then after he came down, I was like, dude, like I just saw it like ping, like, like 10 minutes ago. Like, I mean, do we try and go? And then he was like, yes, like absolutely, like we're going, and I forget like in what area it ended up being in, but like I remember just like racing out of like
It was still, like,
racing
in
out of your
Orange County,
apartment,
yeah.
and then like we just go to, I forget essentially like where this was, but it was like
Popeyes.
Yeah, it was like a Popeyes, and then it looked like very, very sketchy, like to I was a little bit, frightened. But it was very, very sketchy place in my opinion. And then we're just like, so we get there and we're getting like this ping from like we did what the officers told us, like try to stay, like don't go and like engage, but like just like stay like around the corner.
Just go in actually and say, hey, you stole my laptop. I'm sure it'll go over well.
And it was like 9-8, like it was early. The place. So we parked at a Popeyes, but the place that we were looking at was like an auto shop / parts stop.
Yeah.
Shop talk.
Shop talk. And then like we called some officers, and it took them, I guess, like some time to get there, but then like they get there and then we kind of like explain the situation of like what's going on, and then they pretty much tell us like, all right, like here's a game plan, like you guys just stay over here and we're gonna like they were like, give me your phone, and so that they have like the tracker, and then we're gonna go inside and then like investigate like what's going on, just so we can find it. So I was like, all right, like yeah, here's my phone, like do what you need to do. And then they go into the like we see, like we're like peering behind the Popeyes, just like, oh, like what's going on. And then like we just see them like park in front of this thing, and then like we just see them walk in, and then at that point it's like, well, we don't know like what's gonna happen, and we're just gonna like stay here and wait it out. So then it's like, 15 minutes like go by and like nothing is happening. Like they haven't come out. So it's just like, I'm just wondering like like what is going on in there essentially. And then we just like see them rush out, and then they get into their cars, and then they just like take off like in the other direction, like into the highway. And I was like, what is going on? Like, who are they chasing?
With your phone?
With my phone. Like, I don't have my phone.
He looked at me. He was like, wait. Like, is that? So I was like, yeah, your phone's with that, man. I don't
Wait,
have
what?
it.
And they just take off, and I'm like, actually, like, what am I down like a phone and a laptop now? Like,
And you've been robbed by the state at this point.
And then they're just gone, and like it literally felt like forever. It was like 20-30 minutes or something. And then like they come back into the Popeyes parking lot, and I was like, oh, okay, like, it took them that long, like hopefully they figured it out. And like I was praying that they'd like step out and they'd have like the laptop in hand and be like, yeah, like we got it. And then like they come out, and like you can tell that as soon as they stepped out of the vehicle, they did not recover the laptop. Mission failed, or so we thought. But then, so like they come out and they tell us like, okay, like we went into this place, and like there's like all these different like crates with like parts and like certain things or whatever. They were like, yeah, like we've heard of like, sometimes there's like activity of like, like people kind of have like this stuff, and then like they sell it overseas, like that type of stuff. But they were like, yeah, honestly, like we don't know if it was there because like or maybe it was there because they were like, we saw the ping, and then like we went in, and then it moved to the place next door. So then we went to the place next door. But then it's like the GPS tracker on Find My iPhone is like delayed by a few minutes. So they were like, oh, we were basically playing like, tag or whatever, that it's like we try to go somewhere, but then they've like already moved it somewhere else. So then they didn't have luck, and then they were like, yeah, like it's not like under, our job to like do this. So like unfortunately, like, we tried our best, and they did. Like they went above and beyond what they are like supposed to do.
Golf, dude. They did. I mean, genuinely,
they did, because they were like, yeah, like this is not like, technically like we like there's not that much that we can do, but like we'll help you guys out.
Because when they first came to us, like they were annoyed because they had just come from like a carjacking case like a block away, so they were hyped, they had just come from like a real thing, and then they come, we're like, oh, what's your problem? Like, oh, we lost the laptop. It's like, oh, fuck these guys. But when they came back, they're like sweaty and like like, oh yeah, like
It's like a hot pursuit,
like,
dude.
yeah.
Oh man. So then like what? Like it's like, all right, like then like they come back, and it's like obviously like they didn't find it. So now, but then they were like, you know what, like they were like, just follow it, and then if it stops at a place and it doesn't move for a couple of hours, like go to it again and do what you just did. Like go to it and then call somebody again. Because then you'll know like, okay, it's gonna be stationed at this place. But then at that point I was like, all right, like my flight is at like 6 p.m. Like what am I gonna do? So then like eventually
no, because we got Chili's.
Yeah, but then my flight got canceled eventually.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But anyways, like we're so we're just like waiting, and then eventually it's just like, oh, okay, like it's I just kept seeing it moving. It went from like a house, then it went to like I like a shopping mall, and then eventually like somewhere else where it was like a shopping mall like area thing. And it was like almost like what, like 45 minutes away or like an hour or something. I don't know.
45. It was far.
But it was far from where we were. But then it was like, you know what? Like, all right, it's been here for like a couple hours. Do you want to go?
I got it. Yeah.
And then it was like, boom, like, yes, let's go. And then if the first place that we went to was like a little bit sketchy, like this one, I was actually very afraid. But
You're so brave.
no, I don't know.
Continue.
But it was just like, but so then we end up like, you know, getting there, and it's just like, yeah, like a shopping mall, and we're getting like a little ping from like a specific part of the parking lot, and it's like, oh, okay, like it's supposed to be in this car, and then we're just like staking out the car from like his minivan, like, oh yeah, like who has it, like maybe there's somebody there, and then what, like you called the
Yeah. Then the. So basically, this, not to like drag it too much, but there was a problem now because we weren't in the same county that we filed the police report. So we called the police just to tell them like, hey, we're doing what you told us, and they're like, what? We never told you anything. Like, this is a different there's a different police
We're
department.
going in. Like, we did not tell you abort. Do not engage.
We're like oh shit, like oh this. So I basically same thing as the first one. Like, I just told them like I'm not. They asked me if I wanted to file a new police report, and it was gonna be too much. So I just asked them like, hey, like if there is a possibility, like you can send somebody if somebody's in the area, because I think one of the reasons we thought it looked like a little sketchy was like we'd seen at least like 3 police cars in that like lot, but they just kept like moving around and like going different places. So I just kind of asked like if there is one nearby, just like could you send them? And she kind of laughed. She was like, sure. We were there for 3 hours, just like waiting. And after 3 hours of just kind of like looking at this car, because the ping wouldn't move. It kept saying like 5 minutes ago here, 5 minutes ago. And out of nowhere, like we see this like cop car come in, and the guy like parks right next to us. And he's like, oh, so, like what's going on? So we explained like, oh, this laptop, blah, 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 blah. He's like, okay, like, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but, like, they probably told you this on the phone. Like, I can't do anything for you because, like, you are basically telling me about a case that another detective opened in Orange County. And that's a problem for them. Like, I can't touch this. And they're going to have to do, like, some, you know, when they do, I thought jurisdiction was just, like, in Batman with, like, that Hong Kong, USA, you know, they, like, it across these lines, you know, it's 25 minutes across from each other. So I told the guy, like, hey, I mean, just, how about this? Like, what if you just kind of like stay here and we'll go look? And he's like, well, like yeah, but just as long as you know, I can't action on any police activity. Like, I can't act as an officer here. I'm literally just as a fucking like 6'5", like
big
dude, big guy, yeah. Like a big, yeah.
I remember he went in to ask the people, right?
But that was after this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, so he goes in and like he just asked around like, hey, like, you know, they kind of, this laptop is lost, like, are you able to just like check the car? And like these 2 people were like super nice. They're like, yeah, like just, you know, check it out. So they check one car, like nothing was in there, and then the car next to it had like tinted windows. So best we could do was, he said like, hey, you can go like kind of look around the windows, but like I can't do that. So we looked, couldn't see anything. Okay, like nothing there. And last thing we did, like right before he left, was like this parking spot was right next to this massive, which we honestly should have done this like off the bat. It turned out this building with like no sign on the door, nothing. It was like a flea market where like it's not advertised what they're selling in there, but like as soon as you open the tinted door, it's just like a bustling, you know, community, like resellers basically of like
We're
parts.
back to community. You know?
Yeah, so it always ties back to, you know, community and
We're big guys.
Yeah.
Community.
So basically the officer just tells us like, okay, like you guys go in, but like I'm gonna stay out here. I can't help you, but just like go in. And he expected us to come out in like 2 minutes. So we go in and like we ask around, like, hey, like, you know, it's pinging here. And as soon as we stepped in, like the ping kind of like moved a little bit inwards. Like it was in that massive building. And everybody, you know, they were I think I didn't, at that point, like, we didn't really know who to trust, because, like, somebody came out and they tell us, like, oh, are you guys looking for a laptop? And we're like, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. He's like, oh, there's no laptop here. We're like, how do you know what we're, like, I've never met you. I've never seen your face. I've never talked to you. But I'm missing a laptop. So, like, where is it? And basically, he just tells us, and I mean, I don't want to, like, I mean, he just said, like, he had some activities, like, he didn't want, like, the police to know about. So he just asked, like, hey, like, whatever you're, like, looking for, just, like, don't bring them in, basically. Like, I have nothing to do with this. So I was like, all right, like, fair enough. Like, not him. And basically, at the time, if somebody's telling you that, I mean, it's just like what, like, what do we, where is it, basically? Like, how would you know there's a laptop?
There were also, like, people that were like, oh, like, are you guys the ones that, like, the cop is search the car
with the cops, right?
with the cops, right? Like, you made us, like, them, like, open our car and all that stuff, and then it's like, it's getting a little bit
They're
of, like,
gossiping.
we're getting, like, circled
And
out
meanwhile,
here,
like, I
whatever.
mean, we hadn't heard from them in hours.
No, yeah.
I mean,
You guys
again,
were
it's like a Thursday at, like, 4 p.m.
You
at
guys
this point. Like,
sent a photo of, like, the cars you were looking at, and you were like, it might be here, and we never heard from you again.
but again, like, a lot of these people, like, the one that opened her car, like, she was, like, definitely helping us, because it, like, by the law, like, you don't have to do any of that. Like, you can open it if you want to, if not. But as soon as we stepped in, it was, like, just a different, like, arena, basically, because it almost felt like, yeah, they just didn't kind of want you here. And as soon as we were about to leave, just, like, defeated, this lady, like, I'll always remember, like, just it was like, just like, before you get in, like, an angel, like, grabs you and it's like, come back in, it's here. So it was this like old lady in, like, a red dress, and she's like, come here, like, I need to tell you something. And she grabs, like, Pablo and me. She's like, there's, like, a technology, like, store way in the back here, like, she points at, like, an alley that's, like, it's just darkness.
Yeah. Like, we can't see where she's
Like,
pointing at.
and
but
I
it's
don't
like,
have my
it's back
glass.
there.
Like, I couldn't see anything. So I just see, like it's just like a black hole, basically. She's like, you go down there, you turn right, there's a technology reseller, and how about you just go look there? And we were like, I mean, at this point, whatever. It's been 15 minutes. The officer's probably, like, outside, like, oh, shit. Like, they're not coming out. And so we're like, all right, Pablo, like, here's what we're going to do. Like, we're going to go to the back. Like, we'll check it out. And so we walk out. We walk past all these stores, and, like, everybody's laughing at us. Like, and it's just like, oh, it's these idiots, like, looking for their laptop. So we're getting, like, laughed at as we walk. And we get to the back. We get to the store, and there's, like, just this guy talking to a customer, and they're kind of having this, like, just back and forth about, I don't know about what. But in the back, there's, like, this black space gray laptop that just looks, like, literally looks just like his laptop. So we make the line, and it ends up being, like, our turn, right, to kind of ask. And we just ask, like, hey, like, do you happen to have, like, a space gray MacBook Pro? Like, kind of looks like that one, actually. Like, that one, I think that one might be it. And the guy's like, oh, black laptop? Like, what's black laptop? Like, I don't know what. Like,
Well,
I don't
you
know.
were asking to buy it, right?
I was asking to buy it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I wanted to buy that one, basically.
You're like, can
And
I have? Yeah.
Can I have that one? And he just kept saying, like, black, he didn't know what it meant, basically. And he just repeated it on and on and on. And, like, I think at that point, I was just like, all right, like, maybe it's just, like, maybe I should just bring the officer in here, and maybe he can say, like, black laptop. Like, maybe that might work. So I honestly feel bad, like, that I was the one that, like, left, because he stayed back and he was pissed. Like, he I mean, obviously, like, he can see his laptop, like, there, and he's just like, he was like, dude, like, that, like, the black laptop behind you, like, that one. And I'm just hearing this, and I'm, like, running out to get this guy. And I go out the doors, like, the officer's there. He's like, are you guys okay? And I'm like,
Let's see you in half an hour.
and I tell him, like, yeah, like, it's fine. Just, like, come in, man. He's like, what do you mean come? I'm just, come in, like, please.
And for those like 2 minutes that he was gone, that felt like half an hour, dude. I was terrified.
And so the guy, like, the guy walks in, and it's like a P.E.K.K.A, like, behind you. Like, I walk in,
A peck.
and there's this, like, I'm just walking in, and now, like, I mean, not to sound like an ass, but the laughs, like, stopped. It was just like,
Oh.
it was like, okay, like, there actually was like an investigation. Like they were looking for a laptop. It wasn't like a joke. Like it's actually like here. And so the guy goes back and he's like, he gets to the front and we find them just like same thing. Like they're on the same conversation of like, hey, the black laptop behind you. And the officer, I think, honestly, like, just want to say like thank you to him because he probably just wanted to go home. But he was pissed. Like he's like, goes up to the guy and he tells him, hey, like, just to summarize it here, like this says this laptop is like here, like behind you. Like, do you have the laptop? And like immediately the guy just like, it's almost like you were talking to a different person. Like as soon as he talked to the officer, the guy like,
he understood
what the black laptop was. And he opens like a cabinet next to him and he's like, is it this laptop? And so it wasn't the one behind him, but it was identical. He pulls it out, puts it on the counter, and he's like, is it this one? And he's like, I mean, he opens it, it says Pablo Bayona there, and it's like, okay, I mean, it is this laptop. And the guy then like turns it on him and he starts saying like, well, look, I mean, I know it's your laptop, but like
you didn't have to
you
approach
didn't have
it
to approach it this way.
Like,
Like you could have asked. We're like, this whole time, like, and then the officer, honestly, at that point, like, he really just wanted to go home. He's like, look, like, if it was me, like, I wouldn't have even approached you, like, in any sense. Like, if I knew you had my laptop, like, they were nice, basically. Like, this is stolen. And that was a key thing. It's like, this guy didn't steal it. He just bought it from whoever stole it. And so that was the main problem. It's like, we couldn't just ask him to give it back. The officer told both of us, like, us and the seller, he's like, they have to buy it from you. If you allow them to buy it, the only other way this is getting solved is if the detective that opened the investigation, like, comes here and, like, investigates whatever the fuck is going on here. And that was going to take, he had to leave. I was like, you got to make your flight. And it ends up, like, he's like, okay, what we can do here is, like, you can buy it for as much money as he bought it from whoever sold it to him. So we asked him, like shit, like, how much was it? And he's like, it was $30. And in the back of my head, I'm like, shit, like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to pay this with, like, a card or anything. Like, I don't want to give any information. And I rarely carry cash. And to tie it all together, the night before, a very nice Orlando City fan had given me a 50 as, like, he think he bought a magazine. He gave me a 50. He's like, keep the change, like, pay for parking or whatever. And, like, I pull it out, drop it, and I think the charger we ended up having to buy as well. I don't know, but just kind of the 50, got the laptop, and just walked out with it. Like, and I mean, then ultimately his flight ended up getting canceled. So it's like we didn't have to be done that day, but
And how else did we end this trip? But with a retelling of this story at Chili's.
at Chili's. So we ended up at a Chili's there, but
yeah,
I know.
Thank God we sold a magazine to be able to pay in cash.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thank God for the Soccer Odyssey.
Yeah, it's another one to the Soccer Odyssey.
Yeah, but that was also one thing where it's like, yeah, it was like a Thursday throughout just a regular.
It's a thing. It's
Thursday,
like they picked the absolute wrong car to rob of the unemployed dudes who have the time to sit around and actually, you know what I'm going to do today? This.
I'm going to go track down my laptop.
The police officer said, like, dude, you guys, like, if you had come by tomorrow, like, that laptop
Gone.
would have been, like,
Gone.
in pieces. Like, they just take it apart and then, like, just sell all the little parts. So he's like, yeah, like, odds are, like, 95% of these things are, like, you never see that again.
He said, like, I think he said, like, there was a 5% chance, like, you would have gotten it back. If you had come back, like, tomorrow, like, you wouldn't have found it. And then I got, like, a call, like, 2 months later. He's like, are you like, from the police? It's like, oh, wait, are you the one? I'm like, yeah, but, I mean, 2 months later, like, we have it.
Yeah, he's like 7 days later. It ended up being
Yeah.
60 days later. They opened the gate. He's like, all right,
It's
we
like,
got time
really?
to look for your
It's like,
laptop.
But, I mean, thank you to that guy that helped us because, like, I don't think we would have, like, there was no, and honestly, just to, like, I know he explained, I don't want to drag this too long, but that laptop he hasn't changed laptop in a while since we started the whole project. So anything that, like, a lot of the files that we had from, like, even before this trip, like, everything was, like, in that laptop. So the fact that it didn't get scrapped and he's still using the same one to this day. I mean, it's been robbed. It's like a cat has spilled water on it and it's still working.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know what I would have done if, like, we never actually got on that little side adventure to to find it, but I guess it all turned out
It
in
all
the end.
turned up roses, huh?
Yeah, isn't that the lesson of, there's been a lot of breakdowns and
Is that the Florida lesson we're taking away?
I think the lesson is carry cash. Like,
and sell a magazine.
I mean, that's an hour.
That's an hour.
call it.
Great job, guys.
And
we
it's
started that story at 25 minutes
Yeah.
and you guys carried it. That was awesome.
Was it too long?
No,
I think it's perfect.
It was great. It
Why-
filled up the episode perfectly.
we rescued a laptop. We're preparing for the busiest summer of our lives.
Yeah.
The bus still needs to be fixed
Yeah.
in some capacity, but at the very least, Pablo can keep doing his work.
Keep doing my work. But I think also like it's a nice lesson of like or it's a nice little pre into like there's been so many other moments in the summer of like just crazy stuff like this that happens.
Yeah, that moment gets wiped away in the grand scheme of
Yeah, like
everything.
we forgot about that probably
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. Yeah, that wasn't even the half of it.
The busiest summer ever is about to commence.
The bus is heading to the Big Apple.
If you made it this far, thank you for listening. If you want to hear more from us, check us out across platforms at Club11 and join us on Patreon where you can get exclusive perks and be the first to know about what we're up to. Until then, we'll see you next time.